Fred Ashgold here, bringing you a breaking news report. The results of a recent case study have shown that more and more people are taking to alternative forms of media to get their news. What does this mean for broadcast media? What does this mean for traditional news journalism? Are hard-working anchors like myself going to be out of a job? Well, we've got a budding media and cultural theorist here, Ash Threadgold, to talk to us about it. Hi Fred, hi everyone. You're looking very smart today. How's it going with you? Well, I'm not so sure, to be honest. Sounds like my job could be on the line here, but other than that, I think I'm okay. Could you just tell us a little bit more about what you're here to talk about, if that's alright? Yeah, well, I'm here to talk today about some of the new media practices that are emerging in the 21st century. I'm here to talk about participatory culture. So, a lot of us have probably heard of the hacker collective Anonymous, and some of you may even have seen some of their videos they post online, which, you know, they're very well edited and put together, but some of the questions that arise around this online activism is, you know, is it really as worthy? Does it really make the change as some of the more traditional methods of protest? And that was what I looked to find out. I looked to absorb myself into this creator culture to see if I could begin to understand how these sort of relationships of power play out online. I went about this by creating as many different forms of media as I could. I've been vlogging, I've been blogging, I've been tweeting, I've made music videos, I've made political videos, I've made GIFs, I've made Vines, I've made glitch art, you name it. I've been experimenting with it, and it's been a really eye-opening experience for me, actually. Oh yeah, that sounds very interesting, actually. Do you by any chance have any examples you could show us, some of the things you've created, some of the texts you may have made? I've sent you some footage over, so hopefully the editing elves can have that brought up on screen about now.
There must be near certainty that civilians will be killed or injured. Large numbers of civilian casualties. It is wise or moral in every instance. Our preference is always to cause more civilian casualties and more local outrage.
Okay, and what was your reasoning behind that? Do you have any particular inspiration, anything that you drew on, or was it just off the top of your head kind of thing? Yeah, I did actually. For this particular piece, I drew on a couple of things. A very famous film theorist known as Sergei Eisenstein, who does some work on collision montage theory, and I drew on Tryon and Edwards. They talk about political video mashups as allegories for citizen empowerment. Eisenstein discusses how, as I've taken 3 separate source materials, I've taken Barack Obama's speech, actual drone footage, and a classical piece. I have juxtaposed these texts against each other, creating conflict, and it's through this that the audience will create meaning. Discussing this as a form of empowerment, it's not necessarily that Barack Obama is going to see my video and think, oh, I need to stop using drones. It's about if one person views that video and gets something in their head, something sticks in their brain about the use of drones, and this idea can propagate, and they can go on and research it further and perhaps take to the public sphere and discuss it, then my video has achieved its goal. Alright, okay, fair enough. You mentioned the public sphere there. Is there any chance you could just go over that in a little bit more detail for any of our viewers who are not too familiar with that term? Oh yeah, of course, sorry. The public sphere, it's a term first coined by Jürgen Habermas, and a public sphere basically is an area in which members of society can meet to discuss societal issues and have a nuanced discussion. In modern day society, such internet websites such as 4chan, 8chan, Reddit, YouTube, basically a lot of places on the internet act as a public sphere where people can discuss whatever is on their mind. And so what do you think this means for your more traditional news outlets? How do you see this playing out in the future? Well Fred, nobody can predict the future. I do think corporate media is far too ingrained into a capitalist society for it to ever completely disappear. I do feel it's important that these alternative sources are coming about. It's about arming the people with knowledge. You have to remember that every news source has its own lens, has its own spin, and has its own goals. Some of them are to create profit, to make profit. Some of them are to instill certain ideologies onto you. But as long as you're consuming them from a range of sources, you can become critical of each one of those sources and take what you want from them. And I think it is important that we, as consumers, use a range of sources to get our news. Okay, well that's all we've got time for tonight, folks. If you agree with Ash and you think these new forms of media could be changing the news permanently, well then the power is in your hands. Get your video cameras and go and create some citizen journalism. If not, I'll be here every hour on the hour bringing you the latest headlines. Stay classy, Lancaster.